No, it's all right. We'll just go live and it'll be fine.
All right, mate. Let's do it. I'm in. Working without a net.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Follow Everton pre-match stream with me, Geof, who hopefully my internet will continue working for the whole stream, and our new friend Chris from across the pond, who has joined me for the pre-match fume.
Hello, everyone.
Team new. Go on. Sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say it didn't take long for this to come out and get me kind of not grumpy. I just expected to see a little bit of a change. Spot on, same 11 as we saw against Forest. And to be fair, you got 2 goals out of it, which is more than we've had in a long time. So from an attacking standpoint, I really can't fault it. But Keane back in the defense, Godfrey back on the left. I'm assuming Mikalenko is still not fully fit, even though he is on the bench. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not seeing, but whatever the case, this has the makings of a lot of space and a pretty open game, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I checked the before we went live. I checked the stats and I've got to say I wasn't encouraged when I saw the record, the recent records. You've got Brentford, who haven't lost since October the 23rd, apparently, and who we haven't beaten since they got promoted back to the league. So,
in a league game, don't forget we smashed them in the cup tie last season.
We smashed them in the cup tie, yeah, we did. On the face of it, I shouldn't be feeling optimistic, but strangely enough, I kind of feel like we're going to win today, and I don't know why.
Maybe it's the match day optimism. I was saying yesterday, I don't care who it is on a match day. Every time we play a derby on a match day, it doesn't matter. I'm just convinced we're going to win by 5. It's that adrenaline. But no, I'm with you, and today especially because we have performed well in these Brentford matches, even though the results haven't always gone our way. You look at last season, 1-0 loss, kind of a dodgy pen. We still have a few chances in that game at Brentford. We don't get a result. Okay, fine. Cup tie goes well. And even in the game at home last season, I know we lost 3-2. It was an early sending off from Brantthwaite. Even after we go down to 10 men, we get a penalty. We go up 2-1 at the half. And in the second half, it all just unravels in about 2 minutes. And obviously, we can't respond after that. But the point being, I honestly feel we were well on our way to winning that game before the sending off. And even afterwards, we still had chances in it. I like the way we play against Brentford. I thought earlier this season, 1-1 draw. It wasn't the worst game in the world, to be fair. You could argue Brentford should have had a late winner, even though they did. I believe the equalizer was in the 84th minute, something like that. We had that one in the bag, in my opinion, had we not just sat back. I don't know. It's given me a little bit more reason for optimism than against other opponents. I like the way we play against them.
We've got another guest joining us for this pre-match team news fume. Hey, old man, mate, how are you doing?
All right, Geoff.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. So you've seen the team news now. Welcome to the stream. Hello to everybody who's joining as well. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling really happy to see Michael Keane? How are you feeling?
I'm not really sure, Geoff. I'm a bit disheartened with that team, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a team that hasn't won in 2 games yet. They got a point, but they've conceded goals with Michael Keane back in the defence. He hasn't put much of a foot wrong, Michael Keane, I'll be honest, but we're still conceding goals, and that's a worry.
Well, it was like that a couple of seasons ago, though, wasn't it? You couldn't, if you watched especially with Keane and Holgate in the middle, it was almost like they could perform well for 75, 80 minutes, but it was just these lapses in judgment, this just falling asleep, if you like.
It's the mistakes, isn't it?
Bang! It's in the back of your net.
I've always said it about Michael Keane, is he doesn't read the game very well. He doesn't see the danger. You used to have Gareth Barry, and he never had any legs. A bit like Michael Keane, but he read the game fantastically well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Keane never sees the danger before the ball's in the back of the net.
Wes, what do you think of keeping Godfrey on the left?
Yeah, I think that's a good move. I think that's a really good move. I think Mikalenko doesn't really offer much, especially going forward. Godfrey's got the pace to get down there.
Yeah.
So, but after watching Forest last week, he kind of got sucked out of position a couple of times. Godfrey, especially for the first goal, he was
that's what I'm worried about that today, honestly.
Yeah, he was drifting into the middle, and we let Johnson sort of on his own, and you just think you can't do that as a left back.
The only thing I will say in defence of that is he hadn't played a game for months. So you could tell that he was rusty and he was a little bit out. And also, he hasn't played a game at left back for
a lot longer.
A year. It was about a year or something like that. So, we've had all week in training. So you would hope that some of that organisation and fitness, match sharpness will have come back to him. Again, same thing with Keane. Is you're hoping that a week of training, a week of working on positioning and keeping the system, keeping the shape, and all that kind of stuff will hopefully have paid benefits. As I've said before, I'm gloomy about this season. I'm not particularly optimistic about our chances, but the one thing that gives me a positive is the manager, because he clearly knows what he's doing, and so he will have had Keane and Godfrey working hard, and he will have worked on this shape all week. So you would hope that will hopefully stand us in good stead, because Tony terrifies me because he's such a dangerous player, isn't he?
They've got dangerous players throughout the team. Wissa, what's the other guy's name?
Mbeumo, the forward.
Mbeumo.
Yeah, they've got dangerous players all through that team. And
lucky Lewis Potter's not playing, because he's someone else who worries me. But I mean, it's one of those. They're a good side. They're well organised, and they haven't lost a game since October. So, anyone who thinks we're going to turn up and just stroll this game is mistaken. It's going to be a tough game. But I put it this way. Yeah, I was going to say with our previous manager, I'd have this down as a 3 or 4-0 win to Brentford. Whereas now, I think I give us a chance. I did give us a chance. So, go on. Sorry, what you were going to say?
The thing is, though, Geoff, we're running out of games. We need to start winning.
Yeah, we are.
Picking up points is not good enough.
No, we need to win today.
Yeah, people got a bit disheartened with a point away at Forest last week, but I wasn't overly unhappy about the fact that we only got a point, because they beat better teams than us at the City Ground this season.
Yeah, but the way the game played out, mate. I mean, it was just to say it was there for the taking's an understatement.
100%. We should, but we took our foot off the gas when we should have put our foot on the gas.
Right.
But when they were there for the taking, we sort of let them back into the game.
But we've seen that now plenty of times. That was at Brentford earlier this year. That was at Leeds earlier this year as well. This team, if they go up, they just for some reason play this sort of, prevent defense, to use an American term, if you like. But for some reason they just get the mentality that instead of
this is what you expect from. I mean, it's all well and good saying what we want to see, but the reality is, we're in the bottom 3 for a reason, and confidence is one of those reasons that a little bit of a crisis tends to worry. But the one thing I will say is that in terms of that is, I think under the previous manager, once we'd conceded that goal at Forest, I think we would have folded like a pack of cards and just folded like a cheap suit, and we probably would have lost that game, but we didn't. We sort of managed to get ourselves back together again, and we held on for the point. And
to be fair, we did try to lose it in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did, but we managed to hold on. So I'm clutching at the straws. I'm I'm trying my best to sort of see some positives, because obviously I don't want to sort of sit here and say oh yeah, we're going to get battered by Brentford because they're better than us. Because you know, if we go into it with that attitude, then you know it's not good, is it? We need to have some positivity, hold some little bit of hope in our heart, even if it's blind optimism.
At home, we're capable of giving anybody a game on our day.
Yeah.
But you look at confidence now. You look at Bournemouth now. I don't know what the score is, but I've just left it 1-0.
It's still 1-0. Salah's missed a pen, so it's still 1-0.
Oh God!
Like, after their result last week, Bournemouth 2-0 up. To think their confidence is being rock bottom. Do you know what I mean? But they've come out today and they've given Liverpool a good game. Why can't we do that? Like we should be like after we beat Arsenal, we should have been flying, but we didn't. We went into the derby absolutely petrified of them. You know,
it was disgraceful. No, you're right. There was no physical. Liverpool struggled with physicality in the midfield all season, and we don't do as much as touch them. It made no sense. That game was so frustrating.
The thing is, with like everybody, well, nobody expected Dice to play out from the back. Against Liverpool, he did. When it did, there was no call for that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, just play the game that you play. Don't adapt to something that you don't expect the opposition for you to do. Do you know what I mean? But
no,
we should be flying.
I'm just trying to catch up on some of the comments.
No, I'm seeing a comment from the Blues. Liverpool didn't play through midfield though against us. Yeah, but there was still plenty of possession in that game. There was still plenty of chances to let them know you're there if you like. It just changes the mentality of the whole squad, and we just weren't up for it. That's what I'm getting at more than anything.
100%. 100%. You know, if you're going to Anfield, you've got to be up for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think Tony's got a bet on that he scores?
We'll find out early.
He's probably got a few bets on today, hasn't he?
I'll tell you one thing though.
Probably got a few bets.
I bet you that his hearing is on Monday after he's put an hat-trick in against us.
Yeah, I've seen a few folks taking bets on when he's actually going to get suspended. Some say it'll be in the dressing room immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Keane needs Mina with him on that back line. Yeah, probably. All right, Kevin, how are you doing, mate? Sorry, I just wanted to read some comments out because there's a few coming in.
This is the thing.
Basically, I was talking about the results.
Isn't it? This is the thing that's baffling all Evertonians. Is why isn't Mina playing instead of Keane? He's our best defender.
I said it a couple of days ago, and I think there must just be something we don't know. Because Sean Dyche's not a dumb guy. If he's fit, he has to be playing. So there must just be something they're not telling us, and that's the only explanation I can think of, unless it's really just an attitude or a training problem or something like that. Because none of it makes sense. I mean, it's clear as day. Obviously, if he's fit, and someone made the joke, well, is Mina ever fully fit? Okay, fair enough. But still, if he's even, mostly fit, he's got to be in the lineup. He's a presence, obviously, when it comes to corners and set pieces, but just in the defense in general. And it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
To be fair, the one thing I will say is Michael Keane. Michael Keane is quite good with the set pieces. He's scored a few goals. So,
But he's not very commanding, Geoff. That's the thing. Mina's commanding, you know what I mean? Like he dictates what goes up in the back four. You'll see him talking to them. But with Keane, he's not that kind of player. He's sort of like doesn't want to take on that responsibility of being the man who says, get up or get back, put your foot in. He doesn't want to be that man.
No. So going towards our team news, anyone surprised that after the I was thinking maybe he'd be on the bench today, but he's clearly still not ready.
We missed you. What did you say? DCL. I'm assuming that was the question.
Well, I mean, we all
Sorry.
We all thought he'd be on the bench at the very minimum. You know what I mean? Honestly, I've sort of lost all kind of hope that he's even going to get another game this season.
Ever going to be fit?
Yeah, is your life? You just have to.
Yeah, I said I still hold, like, regardless of what side of the fence you're on with DCL. I've accepted now that he's just not available. It's almost like if he becomes available, it's just a bonus, which is kind of sad, but it's just that's kind of where my mind is. Just I'm never surprised to not see him in. Hope to see him in. Hope he's fit. Hope he's well. All that, but it's just like I'll believe it when I see it at this point. And I don't want to. I'm not even meaning to sound negative. I'm just being realistic about it.
Yeah, I'm with you. At the end of the day, we have to try and get goals from elsewhere across the pitch. We can't rely on, because even if he comes back, and it's going to take him 3 or 4 games even to get up to sort of any kind of standard. You know what I mean?
I don't know, mate. When he came back against Arsenal, it was a pretty decent showing. Obviously, a couple chances he didn't finish, but he didn't look bad against Arsenal, and that was his first game back in a while as well, if I remember correctly.
No, I think he played. I think he played a couple of games before that.
Did he? I'm okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. My memory's not serving.
So everyone was kind of complaining that he wasn't getting in and about the box, and then that was his first decent game against Arsenal, where everyone's like, DCL's back. And then the next minute he's got a phantom hamstring injury.
Yeah. If it is an injury thing.
So are either of you positive?
Let him get fit. No, I agree. I'd rather him just get fully fit if that's the case, and I hope that's what it is. Just because you don't want it to be something worse.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Geoff. I'm kind of like. I think that we are capable of beating Brentford. We beat them last season at Goodison. But the way we're playing at the minute, and the fact that they've got on such a good run, sort of like, I'm 50-50, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I kind of think that I hate saying have to win these games, but we have to win this game. I really do feel that. Like we're in the situation we're in. We're looking at the Bournemouth result. You're looking at what's coming up in terms of our fixtures. We have to win our home games. We just absolutely have to, because we struggle to get anything away from home. We got a draw last week, but that was fortunate maybe to hang on in the end, like you say. But we have to win these home games, because if we're going to stay up, we're going to need 5 wins and maybe a couple of draws, and that
sounds about right. Yeah.
With
it's just realistic. 35 points is going to be touch and go, because the other teams seem to be picking up points, which is, like you say, Bournemouth today, I was hoping they'd get absolutely snotted, but they're winning.
That's put massive pressure on us, that game. Massive pressure. And the players will know that result before they go out on the pitch. So that's just added more pressure to the already colder, and that's already bubbling. You know what I mean? You just think, like, what else can go against us? You know what I mean? They was never going to do us a favour today anyway, was he? Let's be honest.
Maybe it's you'd like to see it kind of light a fire or light a spark under the players, if you like, and maybe we'll see that from a few. It's a real test of character today, especially with this result. So we'll see how they respond.
But the Arsenal game should have done that, Chris.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, I don't disagree, but it's one of those where it's just we're past that now. Even if you look back to last season, I believe it was after the Burnley match when we had United next at home, and it was almost like everyone in the world thought that was it was just going to be the same old stuff, because I was overseas for that one. I remember driving home from Burnley and not just not saying a word. And then they come back and they beat United 1-0. And so it's almost like the way that these players can respond sometimes. Sometimes it is a positive thing. So we'll see. I'm hoping for the best today.
Has anybody seen this thing about Bill Kenwright being taken off the side of the ground?
Yeah, it supposedly happened last night.
The look at CCTV. Who's responsible? I mean, that's a bit stupid in my opinion. But that's not going to change anything. The protests will probably, get the media attention. But ultimately, I mean, on the grapevine is this MSP Sports Capital won him out anyway.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
they want all members on the board.
The thing that gets me. Oh, sorry. No, what I was going to say is when you look at some of the previous protests at other clubs, you look at the way Man United got a game called off by invading the pitch and just literally they stormed Old Trafford and refused to get off the pitch, and the game had to be abandoned. So you look at some of the protests that have happened at other clubs, and like the worst case scenario is, you know, a little bit of graffiti and zoning. That's what we've done. But again, the club will try and paint us like we're massive villains because somebody's pulled down a sign, and it's like, well, 30 years of failure and lies and BS. Like, I'm surprised that it's taken this long for somebody to have a go at his bloody sign because, you know, I'm not saying I'm not justifying it and saying that it's okay, but at the same time, considering everything that's gone on, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world, is it? Someone's pulled his sign down because they hate him. I hate him too.
Achieve anything, is it? In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to achieve anything. But did you notice that our friendly neighbours had a plane over Anfield the other week? FSG out.
Yeah.
That sort of went under the radar.
It's just laughable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I mean is the idea that they make it out as if we're sort of a gang of thugs and criminals, and it's like, yeah, okay, someone's pulled a sign down, it's a bit out of order, but it's not exactly the end of the world. It's not like someone set fire to his car or something. You know, it's literally just someone's pulled his sign down because people are angry and they've got a good reason to be angry, and like a little bit of OTT stuff is like, that's the worst of it. You know, it's not exactly a huge issue in my opinion. But
the problem is them staying away from the ground. They're making themselves out to be the victims. And the media is portraying them as the victims. Every time there's a home game, there's a shot of 5 empty seats or 4 empty seats. And you're like, they're not the victims here. This is a club that's been supported for over 100 years, 130 years. And the fans are the ones who are the victims. You know what I mean? They're being victims of lies, and like you say, BS. And we're just fed up of it.
The media just love it, though, don't they? They just run with it so quickly.
Yeah, they jump all over it.
Yeah.
Full
but I don't think. Did they lose?
Yeah, 1-0.
Liverpool.
Yeah. That's just
you know what? Credit to Bournemouth after what happened last week, because to respond in that way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If that was us getting beat last week at the last minute, we'd have probably got hammered today. But they've gone and won 1-0. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
I don't know, mate. I can point to a couple of times. Like I said, the Burnley one last season, we come back against United. Even after the derby last season, I think the Chelsea one was next. That's a 1-0 win as well. I don't have. It's not. I'm. Trust me. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen us get hammered, especially earlier this season. You lose a bad one, then you lose to West Ham and all that. I think that this Brentford side is beatable today, and it doesn't bother me that they've come in not lost a match in a while. Arsenal hadn't lost a match in a while as well when they came in. I think today is going to be a good result. But
the reason that we won them games, like you say, Man United, Chelsea, Leicester, is down to the fans, not down to the team. The team pushed the fans pushed the team on to them results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the fans played a big part. Yeah.
I think, like I said, it's one of those where sometimes I have reasons for being optimism. Sometimes it's just hopeful, pie in the sky, wishful thinking kind of thing.
Eternal optimism.
I don't know. I just have a funny feeling. Yeah, no, I just like. I don't know. I just think that 13th time unlucky for Brentford. They've won 12 in a row. This is their 13th game, so I'm literally just I'm clutching at straws, and I'm burying my head in the sand. I'm ignoring the stats because if I look at all the details and stuff, you've got to put Brentford favourite. You have, because they've got some really good players. They're in great form. There's every reason to think that they're going to. We haven't beaten them since they got promoted. I actually saw that we haven't beaten them since 1934, apparently, in the top flight.
The last season, Geoff, 3-2, wasn't it?
In the cup.
No,
but we haven't beaten
them. The cup was 4-1.
Yeah,
okay, you don't know about the league, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't beaten them in the league since 1934 or something, apparently. Most of the time, they've not been in the division, to be clear. But since they got promoted, I think we've played them 5 times and we've drawn 2 and lost 3.
I don't want.
So we haven't beaten.
A lot of folks are upset about. I don't want to look too much into the Bournemouth win today, only because if we don't win, then none of it matters anyway. So at the end of the day, we have to do our job no matter what. Nobody's going to do us any favors, whether it's Liverpool, whether it's Arsenal. Who cares? We have to win the game, plain and simple.
I get what you're saying there, Chris, but if Bournemouth had got beat there and we would win today, that obviously puts a buffer between us.
What's a gap?
Oh, I'm not denying it. It's just there's so much football left that it's just almost. I'm not letting this part ruin the day. I feel like.
But we're getting to every game now, and we're like, this is a must win, and we're running out of games. And you think, there's like 12 games left. But 12 games is not a lot. You know what I mean? That's like less than a third of the season.
Right, but the point being, it's such a cluster down there, and I just can't say no. We have to do our job. I'm tired of score watching, if you will, because I'm seeing enough frustration on our own pitch because we just have to put the ball in the back.
100%. We need to do ourselves a favour rather than rely on other people.
And you have to kind of try and also hold on to some of the minor positives, which is we're on the same points as we were last season after the same number of games. And we stayed up last season, but I know you're gonna say like we had DCL. I know you're gonna say we had DCL, and I'm hoping. Sorry, we had Richarlison. I know, but we were defensively worse. I think we are mostly better in midfield as well. So I'm just hoping. Like I said, I've been very negative on the streams and in general for a while now because I've felt that we were going to get relegated under Frank. Dice has given me a little bit of hope. And if we win today, you look at his record since he arrived. If you had a win on today, then his record's looking not too bad. It'll be sort of, I think it'll be, 10 points off about 7 games or something like that, which is good. So, like I said, I'm clutching at straws and hoping, I'm doing my best to try and stay as positive as I can possibly be under the circumstance. That's the best I can do.
For me, the difference this season compared to last season is that the league's a lot stronger this year. There was 3 worse teams than us last season. I can't see that this season. Maybe Southampton, I said the other day, Southampton will get a little bounce, especially at home with the new manager. Away from home, they're shocking. Do you know what I mean? Apart from when they play us. But last season there was 3 worse teams than us, and that was the massive difference. I can't say that this season. You know what I mean? All we've got to do
I know.
Hold on to the share tails of the teams that are just above us. If we lose 2 and one of them win 1, I think that it's curtains for us, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm realistic. For the most part, I'm realistic. But it's one of those where, coming into the game, it's a home game. We lost our last home game, so I'm hoping we bounce back from that Villa game and we get a good result. Just even in spite of the team, and like I said, they're due a defeat. They've won 30. They're unbeaten in 12. So maybe it's 13th time. Unlucky for Brentford and lucky for us. But it's it's a win by heart, not my head. You know, looking at everything else, all things being equal, I think they're a better side than us overall. But I still think that, you know, the home crowd, the atmosphere, we get an early goal, confidence and stuff like that.
You know,
no, exactly.
Whether we're, you know, playing the way we are at the
yes,
minute,
Kevin.
that we are at the minute. Goodison is never an easy place to come for any team. You know what I mean? And that's what we sort of cling on to, is that our home form is going to drag us out of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's right, Kev.
And like you said, Geoff, if we can pick up a point here and there away from home, but I think 5 games out of possible last 12 games is a bit of a stretch. You know what I mean?
It is. But I'm hoping DCL will be back for the next game, because I think it's clear that, you know, he's out training on the pitch now. He's starting to look, you know, even if he's just a bench player going forward, like an impact sub, you know, if we got 15, 20, 25 minutes every week, you know, we start with Gray, and then when he gets tired, we make a change, you know. Like I said, I'm clutching at straws, and I'm hoping, and it is hope more than like genuine reasons for optimism.
This is the thing, though, right? Is that everybody was like moaning about the fact that Sean Dyche made so late on last week, but when he looks at the bench, who's going to inspire him?
Oh, I can't. Sorry, I got to cut in on that one. Last week, that, I mean, you have Damari Gray getting a yellow on 56 minutes. He's looking over to the bench on 62 minutes, and every 2 minutes thereafter, just waiting for a sub because he's running his legs into the ground. I know Neil Maupay is not the favorite of a lot of people. Maupay would have been fine to sub on then. Maybe not even necessarily as an impact, but just for fresh legs. Sims would have been okay then. I'm not saying throw Tom Davis on the first chance you get. James Garner's been on the bench now for a couple weeks. Put him in the midfield, because you got at least 3 people in the midfield that could have come off as well. Last week, in my opinion, was direct. It wasn't a loss, but it might as well have been, and it was strictly because there were no subs made. You see Forrest sub on 3 players and immediately get the goal 5-6 minutes later. I thought last week no subs were absolutely inexcusable, and I genuinely think it cost us the game.
Yes and no. Like I said, I don't think that there's anybody on that bench that you look at and you think, are they going to change the game?
But hang on, we don't need to change the game. That's what I'm saying. All we needed to do at that point was sustain the game and not have just tired players on the pitch. That's all it was. I mean, you have players that are now making mistakes because they're tired. Just get some fresh legs on. That's all it took. It was the simplest thing. I know I'm not a football manager, but to me, last week was just a very simple tactical sub change. You know, and they just
it was kind of like surprising from Dyche, who's been, you know, people rate him as a manager and making decisions at the right time and bringing the right people on at the right time, taking the people the tired people off at the wrong time. At the right time, but for him to not make a sub until, what was it, the 80th minute?
89th. They had him coming up around 85, 86, but they didn't get on until the 89th.
Yeah, it was kind of like a bit worrying.
I know.
Not only that, we almost lost immediately afterwards. Davis gives up a foul, you know, in a dangerous territory.
That's what he does.
Davis. No, I know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to go down that road. But it just was shocking. And again, it was almost like the train left a little bit earlier.
But Onana has been.
It's difficult.
Since he's done this interview with a Belgian newspaper, I won't even try and pronounce the name of it, saying that he's been devoid the criticism from the fans because he's been playing well. He's been playing absolutely rubbish, been non-existent, anonymous.
Yeah, it's been a rough 3.
I agree.
He got the early yellow against Villa, 3rd, 4th minute, whatever it was. He hasn't been the same player since, and you almost give him a pass for the Villa game after that because he's playing a little bit cautious, kind of on his toes. You don't want to get sent off. But after that, didn't see him against Arsenal. Certainly didn't see him last week against Forest. Forest was shocking. I haven't seen Onana play that badly since he's worn an Everton shirt.
He had the potential to absolutely destroy their midfield last week and run the show, and he just didn't turn up.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
Yeah.
with the fans behind him today, he's going to put in 110% performance. Absolutely bully Ivan Toney off the pitch, and maybe score an header.
Yeah. Just this comment from Neil here is he said, I resigned myself to the Championship months ago, probably after the Wolves disaster. Dice has given us some hope, and that's what kills you. And it's like, yeah, I agree that I basically was thinking we would go down, and Dice gives me a little bit of hope. And yeah, I can criticise him for the sub and say, well, maybe he should have done the subs earlier. But then how many times have we seen subs come on and just get lost in a game because, like, we go to pieces because the organisation goes away. It's one of those where I don't want to start jumping down. Yeah, I was just going to say I just don't want to start jumping down the criticism route of Dyche yet, because so far his results are okay.
I don't think any Evertonian at the moment should be resigning themselves to the fact that we've gone down or we're going down. We are still in the hunt to get to safety. One or two games, good results on the bounce, and we're way out of it. There's too many, and there's like about 9 teams that you could say are in that pack.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the recent form now. I didn't realize until a couple of weeks ago that Forest are actually worse away than we are. I still think Palace get dragged back into it. West Ham, if not for that 4-0 win over Forest, that's the only game West Ham have turned up to in the last 2 months. Leeds are still in it as well. And even though Bournemouth got a nice win today, I still think Bournemouth are in it as well. There's so many teams that could do it. I certainly haven't resigned myself, and I'm still confident that we will get out of this, especially given the fact that we finally put a couple of balls in the net last week. It gives you a little bit of hope. You get a couple of these players back. James Garner coming back is almost like a new signing. You find a fit DCL, hopefully. I'm not even a little bit pessimistic in terms of the long run, but obviously, like you said, running out of games, we have to get we have to get points on the board, plain and simple.
100%.
The Blues. That's my point about the subs.
Resigning yourself.
Sorry. I'm just.
Down is like just giving up. You might as well just give up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get behind them.
Yeah. Sorry for my internet still being a bit crap, by the way. I think it's 2 weeks now till my new internet turns up, so hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Countdown's on.
Yeah, but I think it's 2 weeks on Monday. It's ridiculous that you have to wait that long, but yeah, when Ryan actually checked me, he asked me to check all my internet and stuff, and apparently it's like it's not quite dial-up, but it's pretty poor. It's like I'm getting about 8 meg speed or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bit rough, but it is better.
Yeah. Just freezes occasionally, kind of thing. So sorry for everyone so sorry for the occasional freeze, but this is quite good for me actually.
If old Mrs. Harris joins on the internet next door, does yours cut off, Geoff?
To be fair, even if it, like a strong wind blows, it seems to go tits up. So yes, right, okay. So let's kind of wrap this thing up now. So we've got nearly 15 minutes to go. So we'll start wrapping this up now. So final thoughts and match predictions from both of you, please.
Go on, Wes.
I'm going to push the boat out here and say Everton's going to win 2-1, and I think Damari Gray's going to score, and I'm going to go for an Onana header for the winner. Might even go 2-0.
I had 2-1. I'm tempted to change that to 1-0 today, but I'm going to stick with what I had with 2-1. I do think Tony's going to find some way to get a penalty, just because it wouldn't be an Everton match without some controversial goal, and so Tony's going to provide us that. But I'm with you. I think it's going to be a late goal on. I don't know who I'm going to pick for the late goal. I'm tempted to say something like Mopé coming off the bench or something like that. But either way, someone will get a late goal, and it's going to be 2-1.
The brave
Nice.
call,
Nice.
I know,
right?
right?
Okay, so me,
It's going to happen eventually.
so-
we'd like to think.
so me, I'm going to take the Dan role, and I'm going to go a little bit daft today, and I'm going to say 3-1 Everton. I know,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. Like I said, I just woke up feeling in my water that, like,
Is this a new internet thing, Geoff? You're getting all...
yeah, I think it is. No, I just think that watching since Dice arrived, I've been watching us, and we've been creating a lot of chances, but we've not been finishing them. But we have been creating a lot more chances. We've been working better. We've been more organised. We look fitter, and I think sometimes it's your day. Sometimes you have those days when it's just your day and everything goes right, and like all the things that you've been trying for the last 6 weeks, it suddenly clicks and everything goes your way. So I'm gonna go for a cheeky 3-1. Just, you know, please feel free to like destroy me on Twitter and the internet, like in the post match when we get slapped everywhere. But yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic today. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-1.
I hope you're right, Geoff. I hope he scored 3 goals in the last like 15 minutes, so it's incapable of them scoring another 3 goals coming back. But it's a tough
God, no! I'm hoping we're like 3-0 up by half time.
Oh, no, 'cause we'll follow it
I'm hoping it's like a fast start.
No, we'll have it.
No,
If we go
but
3-0 up, Geoff,
yeah, we probably will, mate. To be honest, we probably will. Right, nice one. Anyway, thanks you two for joining. Are you on after the match, the post match, or?
I'll be ready whenever. Yep.
If Ryan wants me to come on, I'll come on, but he hasn't sent me a link, so I'll just wait.
Stephen's doing the links for the post match supposedly, so I'll message him and see what he's doing, because he's going to be running the after match stream, and I'm just going to try and pop in, presuming the internet works twice running.
I might be a slobbering, sweaty mess in the corner before he asks me anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
Optimism until kickoff, at least. Stay up the top.
If we lose, my internet might actually be not working very well.
All in for a sub.
Right, nice one. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for everyone else for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share, and all that other good stuff. And good luck, Everton. Up the fucking toffees. Right, I'm gonna do the end thing.
Cheers, boys.
Nice one.